So I've been back from Australia for about a week, and I have to say that I feel like everything feels so different, but same and unchanged at the same time. And it's so hard to describe this feeling of coming back to a place that you've lived the last 15 years of your life at. Coming back after 9 months, it feels like so many things have changed, but at the same time, everything is the same. And you feel like you have changed, but really you haven't. So why does it feel so different to come back to a place like this? I feel like I'm looking at things and actually comparing them to what I've experienced down in Australia or New Zealand. What's really different right now is that previously, when I was here, I've really grown to accept everything as it is. It is the status quo. It is normal to live your life in a certain way here in Germany. But going away to another country, and not just to be on holiday, but to actually work there and experience the everyday life of people who actually live there and work there, really gave me perspective to see things differently and to question a lot of the things that I've grown to be accustomed to here in Germany. And to ask myself, is this really the only way? And is this actually the way I want to live in the future? And it is quite a difficult question, because with certain things, I feel that things are better here, but then with a lot of other things, I'm like, oh, actually, this is a great way to do it as well, like what I've seen in Australia. That can be the system overall, like the whole procedure of working and taxes and the organization of stuff and taking care of things. Simple things as communication with friends or family is different as well. The topics are different. The kind of vibe is different. So for example, when I came back to Germany and I surprised one of my friends, after an hour of conversation, the topic that came up was taxes, insurance, my job, finances. That really stressed me out because I was back for literally 1 day and I already had to deal with these topics. And don't get me wrong, those are absolutely important, I get it. But I felt like it was such a German way. You know, we haven't seen each other for 9 months. And obviously I told them a little bit about my journey down there and what I experienced and showed them a couple of pictures and videos. But very soon after, the first topic that came up was this grown-up topic of taxes, finances, rent, insurance, my job, how everything's going to play out, if I've taken care of everything, is there anything that I have to pay attention to, is there still anything that needs to be taken care of, and all of those things. And it gave me a little bit of, not a little bit actually, a lot of stress. Whereas in Australia, nobody talks about these things, you know, like, at least in my experience, I've had a lot of contact with people who were living there. So for example, my girlfriend is Australian, so I moved in with her after a couple months. I got to experience like the day-to-day basis of an Australian family because her parents were there as well and her sister. And so I really got a nice insight into how things work, about what the topics are after a long day at work, what they're talking about when they get back home on the weekends and stuff like that. And the topics are really, really different. And that's just a very normal and usual thing, I guess, but it makes communication a little bit difficult after coming back from a country like Australia. And I feel like that is a very German thing. And I didn't miss that, to be honest. Like, I much rather talk about hobbies, experiences, people. But in total, I really am struggling at the moment with this big question of, where is my actual place? Is it in Germany, or is it maybe somewhere else, like in Australia or New Zealand? And it's been quite a journey, like, to be honest. The last 9 months in Australia have been absolutely amazing. I have all of these memories that I've made, all of these great people that I can call my friends. If you're seeing this and if you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe I could go to a different country for some time, if you can, do it. Honestly, what I can tell you is that when I first started to think about whether or not I want to go there and I want to go away for about a year, I was struck with this huge amount of anxiety, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. What will my friends think? What will my family think? I'll lose my jobs. What will all these people think that me as a 30-year-old, I want to go on a working holiday trip to the other side of the world with all of these responsibilities, with all of these bills that I have to pay for, with all of these things that I have to take care of that I'm responsible for. How's that going to work out? And then I started to slowly talk to friends, talk to family, and just casually and very delicately trying to tell them that I'm thinking about this idea of going away for 9 months. And interestingly enough, not a single person has told me that I shouldn't do it. Quite on the contrary, everybody, including my bosses, my friends, my family members, everybody said, do it. You definitely have to do it. And that gave me so much strength. And I understand that it might not be the same for everybody out there, because you don't have the chances that I had, because I consider myself to be very, very lucky to being able to keep my apartment and sub-renting it, to being able to get to keep my job and just going on a sabbatical and just not being employed for that time, and now being able to just go back to my old job as if nothing happened. So with all of these things, I was just in a very, very good spot to do that. I understand that not everybody has that, but if you do, if you're young, if you're at the age that I am, or maybe even older, and you have the chance to do a working holiday travel, just do it. Honestly, it was the best experience of my life. I would definitely do it again if I would have the choice. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, and I'll keep you updated. Cheers.